Hi, Mark here from the Tangent-Bound Podcast Network and host of the flagship show, the Tangent-Bound Podcast. Did you know that we over at Tangent-Bound are always looking for amazing podcasts to promote? And did you also know that we are also proud nerds and geeks of everything from movies, music, gaming, TV shows, and comic books to wrestling, MMA, soccer, and football? Whatever you can nerd or geek out about, we've got it. And if you're interested, we can help you find it. And if you're a show looking for a place to call home, we've got you covered. Side effects may include upset stomach, dizziness, tumors, shakes, and in some rare cases, death from excessive laughter. Though to be fair, it's only sometimes. Other side effects may include diarrhea, gallstones, heart palpitations, and strong desire for cookies on the dark side. Talk to your doctor and visit TangentBoundNetwork.com and see if Tangent-Bound Network is right for you.
This is a Danger Entertainment podcast. DangerEntertainment.net. Danger Entertainment Podcast Network.
Welcome to the podcast from Temperance Town, the sexiest podcast of world renowned. Tony grows a beard to hide his chin, swaps it with Earl so it glistens.
Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier.
Download the pod, you won't get enough of these dapper chaps talking deadly fluff. In Hobo Gulch they run a homeless mission, clanging and banging with the pentagram of kittens.
Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier.
They enjoy their whiskey and local craft beer. By Odin's unkempt pubis we give a cheer. Tony's a raccoon when he's booziest. Don't be a savage, be an enthusiast.
Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier.
On the frozen tundra they call it a lock. Tony likes to masturbate in a sock. Brian pisses rocks cause it feels so great. I still don't know who the fuck is Tate.
Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier.
The boys will let you know when there's a spurter. Due to male pattern baldness, they don't wear curlers. Stay salty, people, that's their closing line. And don't forget, have a beer, you'll be fine.
Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier. Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier. Salty language.
Hey enthusiasts, what's going on? This is Salty Language episode 327.
The deadliest podcast on the network.
Really? I wasn't aware.
I guess.
Wow. I wasn't aware of that.
You haven't been practicing your karate for the upcoming Kumite?
Shh. I'm not allowed to talk about it, remember?
That's right. I forgot. That's the first rule and second rule.
Right.
Of Kumite Club. It's a book I'm writing. Hopefully it comes out good.
It's going to be terrible. Oh, man.
I kind of like the idea of Kumite Club.
All right. I kind of do, too.
Right?
Yeah. Here's what needs to happen, I think, is you need to write it with Jean-Claude Van Damme and Bolo Young, star of a previous episode of ours, Bolo Hung.
For sure. Is he alive though?
Who cares? If not, we'll CG him up.
Holographic, yeah. Bolo Young.
Yes. Everyone's been clamoring for it. So,
it's true.
But you're going to be the ghostwriter of the book.
Can I be the ghostwriter?
If they're cool with it, what do I care? I mean,
sweet.
On the front, it says ghostwriter / ghostwriter.
Yes. It's just ghostwriter and he's bent over a typewriter. Like,
The ghostwriter one, it's, Or I was gonna say on one it just shows, a nice author picture of you basically with like a smoking jacket and a pipe, and then the next, it's kind of a 2-part picture, and the other one is you with your head on fire, and
I already know jacket. Ghost Rider's first book, Stories of Vengeance.
That's a great bedtime one,
They're all revenge bedtime stories.
Yeah. Like, obviously it starts with him being wrong somehow, and then by the end, he serves a nice steaming cup of vengeance to whoever it is.
Exactly. I'm picturing little Ghost Rider kids in bed with like little flaming skulls.
Totally. There's a whole style there's an artist named Scotty Young that he's done various books for Marvel with like the characters as like, basically they look like babies or little kids in the costumes and stuff. They're all sorts of adorable if you're into that. And I think he did Ghost Rider once. If not, that would be exactly what I'd be picturing for the art. So I am going to look it up right now.
That's what I just Googled, baby Ghost Rider.
Oh, I was typing in his name, but yep, there we go.
That's probably more effective.
He's certainly done covers for it. 'Cause they did a variant, like where he did a bunch of variants for like a month. So yeah, look up, his name's Skottie. Look up Scotty Young Ghost Rider. I'm not necessarily you, Tony. I'm just meaning anyone listening. Because if you've already got it pulled up, then whatever. But that's exactly what I was picturing. So, because I can't remember.
There you go. Yeah, that's pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastical.
Right. And even drew him on the car, which, there's been various Ghost Riders. So they're, one was on a bike, one's in a car. I don't remember what the other ones are on, but I remember those two. Johnny Blaze, I believe, was on the motorcycle. I can't remember.
What if there was a Ghost Rider that was just on a jet ski and he's super limited?
That'd be great. Like, come out here and say that.
Exactly. Get out here, you son of a bitch, so I can get some vengeance.
Like, you're the worst. Namor keeps putting his fire out.
Yeah.
What the fuck with him?
You're a flaming ghost guy in the middle of the ocean. You're terrible.
Right. Oh man, that would be ridiculous. Really what it would be is, it's the way the world sees Aquaman, essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually,
a flaming sea guy.
I forgot about that. Family Guy actually had that, I believe. Like, something was happening on shore, and out in the sea was Aquaman, and he's like, "You better stop," kind of a thing. But, it's funny, but Aquaman can walk on, he can come onto land because he's half human, half,
fish boy.
Yeah. I was gonna say merman, but I didn't want anyone getting the wrong idea of, like, that ugly dude from, He-Man.
I'm pretty sure Aquaman's mama got a bottlenose dolphin seed in her or something.
Clearly, and that's how he became the king of Atlantis.
That's how he became the king of Atlantis.
Makes sense.
Or as he likes to call it, Hotlantis.
And everybody hates that he calls it that.
Yeah, everybody he's turned into a club town.
Oh, it's so terrible.
Everyone's like, he used to be such a classy island. And then we sunk in more ways than one.
Yeah, right. Too soon, Tony. Too soon.
Yeah, I know, right? Sorry, Atlanteans. Yeah. I'm sorry, Hotlanteans.
Yeah. They're going to be sending so much hate mail.
Oh my God. How's it going to show up though? Via fish? Go fuck yourself.
See, I was going to ask that because, on land it's called snail mail when it's not like email, some sort of a digital product. So what would they call it from Atlantis to
I can only go sea snail mail.
Okay, fair enough. I was hoping for something more creative, but all right.
That's all I got.
Fine.
Sea Pony Express? I don't know.
No, it's over now. Forget it. You're done.
Right?
Oh, shit. So, speaking of spooky and crazy things, I kind of figured maybe we kind of start, with a Halloween recap here. So, how was your Halloween? Did you do anything?
Cold as a motherfucker.
Yeah, it was.
Well, I got a couple things. My daughter's still young enough that she trick or treats. My son, not so much.
Right.
They both dressed up though.
Right. Son goes out and steals bags of candy. Sure.
Mm-hmm. Like the ghetto boys.
Yep.
Nice.
Or like we used to do. No, I'm kidding. We didn't do that.
No, so he handed out candy at my in-laws' house, and it's where we usually take the kids trick or treating.
Mm-hmm.
So then we wandered around with my daughter and my niece and nephew and my the Risk and the Jisk.
Right.
And it was cold, Brian, much like Beer Fest from the previous weekend, which I do have an enthusiast I'm going to be dropping this week. I was hoping to drop it before then, but I've just been too busy.
Fair enough.
But what the fuck was I saying? Oh yeah, I was just unprepared once again for the cold. Like no gloves, no hood, I did have my Yeti mug, which is convenient because insulated. I poured a beer in it, so that worked out well.
Well, that's good because again, in the cold, the one thing you really want is a nice cold beer.
Yeah, absolutely,
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
Yep,
it's like tradition anymore to go trick or treating with beers in my hoodie.
Sure, sure, why not? It's
right.
better
and
than walking around
houses,
with like a handle of whiskey or something.
Well, it depends.
You're just nipping right off the bottle, or better yet, chugging it like Belushi in Animal House.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Like last year, a couple of the houses were giving out cocktails to like adults. They're like, hey, you want a whatever shot? And we're like, sweet. So I was kind of hoping for some more of that.
Yeah.
Nah.
Jerks.
A little nip of whiskey would have been nice to keep the chill away.
Right?
Yeah.
Jeez. I mean, they could have at least gone and gotten some of those like sample bottles or.
Yeah, little airplane bottles.
Yeah,
That'd actually be great. Trick or treat there you go. This is for the adults.
Clink. Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
You're carrying around a bag of empties.
I like. What are you dressed as? A recycling bin?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm dressed as a functioning alcoholic. Sorry.
Is it working?
Is it working?
But the real highlight was, because we, everyone gathered at my in-laws' house, so we all eat dinner there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Love my in-laws, Brian.
Mm-hmm.
Big fan. But I'm not a big fan of how they curate the refrigerators sometimes.
Okay. Right.
Like, I'm not always aware if they know how old some of their food is.
Mm-hmm. That's never a problem with food, though.
No, never a problem. It's fine.
No, yeah.
So we had like hot dogs and chips and like baked beans and whatever. It was a kind of a throw together meal.
Sure.
But I like smashed because I was starving. I was after work. I was like, got to eat. Right. I was going back for another round 2 fight, and I grabbed the tongs. I pulled this hot dog out of water, and I was like, this hot dog looks fucking suspect.
Which is saying something because hot dog.
Hot dog, yeah.
Yeah.
So I put it back in the water.
Of course you did.
It pulled a different hot dog out and ate that one.
Naturally, because
I was hungry.
Right.
The second one I pulled out did not look suspect.
Yeah, you're like, as long as I don't see it, it's good.
Yeah, that was kind of my thought. I was like, well, whatever. This is someone else's problem.
Well,
no, it wasn't. Because I was, we got home. I was exhausted because, the cold just drains you, and I worked, and, I worked that night before, a side gig, and I was just fucking tired.
Yeah.
And, it was probably about quarter till midnight. I just woke up. I was like, oh, this is weird. I felt like for a brief second, I'm like, oh, it must be almost time to wake up. Right?
Yep.
And then I felt like I was getting stabbed right in the guts.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I'm like, look at my phone. I'm like, it is not time to wake up.
Now,
and I kind of laid there, huh?
Now, hold on a second. Now, this did happen around Halloween. Are you sure it wasn't a spooky ghost stabbing you?
It could have been a spooky ghost.
All right. I'm just
I would much rather have Dan Aykroyd's spooky blowjob ghost than spooky stab ghost.
Somewhere spooky stab ghost is sad listening to the podcast.
No, right? Exactly. Step up your oral game, son.
Yeah, stab with that face.
Exactly.
All right. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, yeah. So I was like, well, I feel like I'm dying.
Sure.
So I'm going, and I laid there. Like, I know everyone's done this. you're like, I just want to fall back asleep despite the fact I feel like I'm dying. So you just lay in bed.
Right. Yeah.
And you're just miserable.
Yep.
Yeah. So I laid there for a while, and I'm like, finally, like, I gotta get up. I need to go to the facilities.
Right.
And hope anything happens to alleviate this stabbing pain in my guts.
Naturally, yeah.
Naturally, right? Which, nothing. I go in there, I'm fucking around, but nothing. It's just pain. And so I come back to bed, and Jean's like, because of course she wakes up, because I'm was probably writhing in bed, and I finally got up.
Right.
So she asked me, like, are you okay? And I'm like, I just, something I ate's not agreeing. I don't know. She's like, well, the old question when you're ill, which end? And I'm like, neither.
Yeah.
Just pain.
Right. It's a precursor to it. Usually, yeah.
But this goddamn suspect hot dog, Brian,
mm-hmm.
it was probably the last time I remember looking at my clock.
Yeah.
It was like almost 4 a.m. and I finally fell asleep. And once again, which end? Nothing. There was a couple moments I'm pretty sure like Pavarotti and the Four Tenors were residing in my asshole, which is not good.
Right.
But the pain just never went away.
Oh man.
And even like the next morning I woke up and I'm like, I'm not, fuck the gym. I'm not going to the gym.
Yeah. Well,
I'm just laying in bed. I'm going to try to get a little more sleep.
No squats the next day, huh?
Yeah, no, believe it or not.
Oh, that would have been the worst the next day's leg day. Oh.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, for sure. It would have been bad for everybody.
Right.
But, and it was miserable. It took me probably a full day to recover. I don't even know. Like, once again, which end? Nah, nothing.
Yeah.
Just something was not right.
Well, I mean, the stabbing pain, I'm sure, sucks, but I guess at least you weren't,
like painting the walls.
Right. I was going to say, strapped to the turlet, but, whatever. It's.
I don't know which I mean, at least with that, there's a foreseeable end.
It depends, man. That fucking flu I had last year, I didn't think it was ever going to stop.
True.
I was like, how can there be more?
Clearly there's a portal open within me.
Right? Like, I haven't eaten anything. There can't be more.
Yes.
Gurgle. Oh,
yeah. This is just my guts. This is what this is now. Yeah. I'm dying.
Yeah, that's how I felt. Oh, God, that was awful. That's the worst I've had in years.
Right.
So, I've decided this year quarantining myself from everyone until summer again. So
it's probably a wise idea.
Yeah.
Although apparently, and I found out about this just an hour before we started recording here, that, my daughter, because we've always had a very strict rule for our kids.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to take candy. You get to pick out 30 pieces of candy.
Okay.
The rest will give away. And then your 30, you can have a piece a day because we don't want you hammering the candies.
Right. That's what you guys do with the rest of the candy.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
That was a problem when I was like, you guys go trick or treat. I'm going to go use the restroom and get another beer. And I'm like hung out by Logan just smashing Almond Joys.
Right.
I'm like, I got to get away from you. But so, no, because, like a Belle, our dog, she came wandering out of Leah's room with a candy wrapper in her mouth. And Jeannie's like, Belle, what, where'd you get out? And Leah was elsewhere. So Jeannie goes in her room. And one thing we've always told our kids, don't have clothes on your floor.
Yeah.
And of course there's clothes everywhere. And scattered amongst these clothes was basically all of her candy wrappers.
Oh, jeez.
So she done gorged herself this past week.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, which obviously, I wasn't here to hear the explosion of mom, but I'm sure it was fine.
Nah, Jeannie's not known for being loud, so.
She projects.
Yeah, a little bit.
I would have been super duper annoyed myself because, I mean, it's not like it's a new thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and it wouldn't have been so bad if she was eating like a couple pieces or something like that, even though whatever, it's like, it's an extra piece, who cares? But to just smash all of it is a problem,
It does explain the one day because they had a couple days off of school this week because like teacher work is, why is there a mosquito in here? That That's so weird. It's November. You should all be dead.
Oh.
Well, that one is.
Yeah.
But,
All right.
But they had a couple days off of school this week, right? And when I was going to work, I actually came home because we had a guy come over to look at our bathroom to give us a quote on remodeling it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, hey, it was Nave Neptune night.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, hey guys, we're doing leftovers for dinner. So,
right. So suspect hot dogs and no.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I was like, and make some, there's a ton of leftovers. Do, lunch, dinner. That's what we're cleaning out the fridge. And I come home and I'm like, so I don't see any dish. What'd you guys? And Logan's like, well, I had a couple slices of salami, and Leah didn't say anything. So clearly, candy.
Candy doesn't count as dinner? I don't know. Yeah.
Which I have an idea for tomorrow morning though. I got to pull it up. How about you? How was your Halloween, Brian?
We never know how many kids are going to show up here.
Right.
Like when I first moved in this area, the first year we probably had 150 kids. Like,
that's a lot of kids.
Yeah, and we did not have enough candy because we didn't expect that many kids. Like my mom actually brought more candy down the street to us so that we could, have close to enough. And so the next year, we bought a metric shit ton of candy basically. And
the old metric shit ton.
And we got like 15 kids.
Of course.
So naturally, we disposed of it, in a non-eating it all in one time fashion.
Right.
No, we smashed the shit out of it.
Smashed shit out of it.
Gave a lot of it away. Like, I remember Jen took a bunch to work.
Right.
Just to try to get, so we wouldn't have bags and bags of candy at home. So anyway, but because of that, like this year, my mom bought a decent amount of candy, and it's, it's one of those things like, okay, well, we don't give it away, we'll eat it, whatever, or throw it at the neighbors or something.
It's a good idea.
So, like you said, it was fucking cold. It was, I think, at the time it started trick or treating, it was around 40, and it was supposed to just drop.
Yeah, and it was kind of windy.
Yeah, at least there was no rain this year, but still, it was just awful outside. Yeah, and a lot of people in the neighborhood weren't even doing it, like weren't even giving out candy.
Right.
And there were a few that toughed it out. I think I mentioned this on the Crazy Life. Like there was a guy up the street that I saw earlier in the day because I had a doctor's appointment. I saw this guy, he was building a fire pit out in his front yard, and he had like one of those canopies that you would, rent for like a party or something. Mm-hmm. He had one of those up, and I'm like, I bet they're going to sit around that fire and hand out candy tonight.
There was quite a few people in our or not ours, but the neighborhood we went to that had those little like metal fire rings out in their driveway.
Yeah, that's pretty much what he had. Yeah, exactly. And, I was like, that's smart right there.
That's smart.
Cause it was
like, yeah, that is the way to do it right there.
Right.
And I was talking to the Jisk about that. So he's talking about doing, trick-or-treating up in his neighborhood next year. I'm like, maybe we'll go up there because he's got a little fire pit. And I was like, that'd be just kind of nice to just sit by the fire pit and drink beer and just bullshit and hand out candy.
Yeah, exactly.
As opposed to walking around and
Yeah. And, I've been saying for the last few weeks that just the way the weather's been the last couple Halloweens and the way it is here, it's like I figured those trunk or treat things, they seem to really be picking up steam because, you don't have to go deal with 40 or less degree weather, rain potentially, wind, all that. Cause the kids that did come around, about half of them had coats over their costumes because it was cold, you know? And, but there were only, I don't know, maybe 25 kids, maybe. It was not much.
It seems like you got a lot of kids in your neighborhood too. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, you would think that there would be more, but like I said, the only thing I can think of is that it was, that more people are doing the activity center type ones, or the one at the zoo, or wherever. I know the mall had one too. They're all over. So which it kind of sucked because I like seeing the costumes that they come up with. A lot of times, especially like the homemade ones or the ones that aren't exactly store-bought. Like maybe they started store-bought, but there's been additions or something, you know?
Right.
One of my favorites was there was this little girl. She was probably, I don't know, 3, 4 or something like that. And she was dressed in like, as a firefighter. And she came up and, her mom or her dad, one of the two, said something about her being a fireman. And she turned and looked and said, "I'm a firewoman." It was just
That's
funny
hilarious.
how she was just so like, "How dare you?"
Yeah.
I loved it. It was
You
great.
son of a bitch.
Yeah, it was. That was great. But yeah, there were just, most of them were just pretty much the norm stuff, Spider-Man and, that kind of stuff. Although with her brother was dressed as a sniper and he had like a full-on ghillie suit, like with branches all over him. Yeah. I mean, I barely saw him,
Well, his ghillie suit.
Right.
Yeah. Nice.
No,
That is hilarious.
It was pretty cool because, I've seen people as like, "Oh, I'm a soldier" or whatever, And, but this one, he was, like I said, he had like branches and shit sticking off of him. It was pretty good. I actually think if he went over and stood by a bush or a tree, he might fit in, it was pretty well done.
That's pretty great.
Yeah. And he had like, it looked like legit fatigues underneath it, so I don't know, they went to like a surplus center or something like that, or either that or the costume was great.
Surplus store or something.
So anyway, those were pretty good, and, I was like, that family straight up wins because the little girl was just great with her. I'm a firewoman.
Really, Dad?
Yeah. It's like, way to be in the 60s, Dad. Try to be progressive.
Geez.
You son of a bitch. At least call her a firefighter.
Or something.
Yeah. Now, the best costume I saw on the whole day, we went to the grocery store after I had a doctor's appointment. And the grocery store allowed their employees to dress up.
Right.
And, so I'm in there and there's a woman in like a panda costume. There's the bagger that we had actually, she was dressed like, she looked like she walked right out of like a doctor's office or like a nurse basically. And she was standing down at the end. I didn't think there was a bagger there. I literally thought she was talking to the cashier. So I went down to start bagging and she's like, "I got it." And then when she turned, I saw she had a name tag on. I was like, "Oh shit, that's right."
Was she just in like regular scrubs or something? Or?
Yeah, she was in like, scrubs and then she had like a, not a jacket, but kind of a, like an overcoat type of thing that had like the print that some of them wear.
So it wasn't like a candy striper nurse. It was like a nurse that you'd see today.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a way to try to blend in.
Yeah, that was the thing I was like, "Oh shit, you work here." But most of them were, whatever, pretty cool or whatever, I guess. But, they were fine. So as I'm walking out, this woman gets out of a car and she's dressed as Pennywise, the new one.
Oh, jeez.
And her costume and makeup are on point. And she's got a balloon in her hand, right?
Of course she does.
So she gets out and she just starts walking slowly up towards the store. And I'm loving this. Like, I'm like, that is so fucking awesome. People were moving from walking directly toward her on that side to the other side of the parking aisle, or the parking lot so they could avoid being close to her, basically.
That's hilarious.
Meanwhile, I walked straight at her, and high-fived her. Cause I was like, you have and I don't know why I didn't like, "Hey, let me get a picture,"
Right.
But, I was like, your costume is fucking epic. And
spot on.
And I knew she worked there because name tag, so.
It would have great if it said Pennywise or like P-Wise.
Oh, that would have been great. Or just Penny or something.
Penny W.
Yeah. Well, there was one of the woman who was our cashier actually was dressed as Red from, Orange is the New Black.
Oh, okay.
And she actually, her name tag said Red. So.
That's cool.
Which I thought was funny. Anyway, so I see this Pennywise and I'm walking toward the store and I'm standing there going, "Man, I kind of want to go back in the store now because I want to see people react to her."
Yeah, really.
Because there's probably going to be a bunch of people terrified by her because it was really good. Clown
fear is a definite thing.
Yeah. Now, the other thing was I was really surprised that's okay because so many people have a fear of clowns and the fact that that's a scary character. I kind of
Right.
figured that there would be, maybe a little something from corporate that comes down and says, hey, everybody have fun dressing up, nothing offensive or scary,
Right.
like type of thing. Like try to look like a Snapchat filter or something.
Yeah, we're here to have fun, guys, not terrify our customers.
Right. But I confirmed with Soundboard T that did not come out, or at least he never saw it. Like,
Right.
they were told that they could wear costumes, and that was basically it. So, and I was like, wow.
Until next year.
Yeah. I was like, wow, a corporation didn't put out okay, this is the same chain. It's Kroger. I don't give a shit. When I worked for Kroger, I don't know if they still do, but when I worked there, like, you are not allowed to wear shorts until it hit like 80 degrees, and if it wasn't 80 degrees that day, you could not wear shorts.
Right.
And it's like, so this is the same company and it's like, I'm surprised nobody thought that through, because that seems like something corporations usually do, is, try to err on the side of, family friendly, basically.
Right.
So, but
Like, all right, hey, Steve and Produce, put away the Kevin Spacey costume. Nobody
so true.
wants to see it.
Speaking of that real quick, to kind of transfer off that too, I'm pretty much done, but I saw a thing online where they were pointing out yesterday about how 3 times Family Guy has made references. Did you see that? Like, the first one was Kevin Spacey, because it's a guy who runs. It's like, I escaped from Kevin Spacey's basement. The second one, I can't remember the person, and the third one was Harvey Weinstein, which he, Seth MacFarlane straight out made that comment at an awards show, which, again, Seth MacFarlane's got fuck you money. So,
well, yeah.
And you know what though? I do, on one hand, it's like, I do at least appreciate the fact that he used his privilege to try to kind of put that out there. Similar to, like, inadvertently when Hannibal Buress made his comments about Cosby.
Yeah, exactly.
And now Hannibal Buress is probably known just as much for that as anything. But anyway, I don't want to get too much into that other thing, but it was just, I thought it was kind of a funny thing that, looking back, they have been spot on like 3 times, or allegedly spot on.
Well, it's those, I guess those secrets that everyone knows about, but no one talks about until recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is unfortunate if people did know and nothing was done about it and stuff, that's the real issue, because that allows it to continue and all that,
Yeah, exactly, right?
Whatever. So, yeah. Enough about that spooky and scariness.
Spooky and scariness.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, so that woman at Kroger easily won my costume of the day, because...
Yeah, that sounds all right. I didn't really see anything that was like, whoa, look at that, nothing that blew my mind costume-wise.
Yeah.
Kind of sad, because I like a good costume,
Yeah, exactly. That's my favorite part of
Yeah.
it. It's like, I don't like standing out when it's cold. I don't want to stand out and hand out candy, but I do want to see the costumes, And
Yeah,
there's
especially
usually
like
some
you were
great
saying, the
ones.
creative ones.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I said there's usually some really good ones, but, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all right.
It is what it is.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't help, too. Like, my sample size was very small,
This is true.
Like I said, that first year we saw all sorts of cool ones because there were tons of kids, but
Right.
what can you do?
Yep, exactly. Yell at every kid with a bad costume.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Boo! I'm not giving you
Come back
candy.
next year, you little bastard.
Yeah.
Kick him in his little shin.
Yeah. Like, I'm not giving you candy. I saw one of the Twitter groups I'm in, there was a guy that made a comment that he was dressing up as Pennywise and he was just going to sit outside, and he said anybody who had balls enough to come up and to him, he would give like 2 candy bars too. Like,
That's nice.
Full-size candy bars, not fun-size type bullshit.
Right.
And that cracked me up, because there were people in the room that were like, yeah, I guess I'd get no candy. I'm like, fuck you, I'd go get it.
Yes, I gotta be hanging out.
Yeah. What's up, man? Let me at them Mr. Good bars.
I got BAs.
So, yeah. I mean, on one hand, it's like, I like it, but on the other hand, the crazy life part of Brian goes, that can be like, triggering or traumatic to somebody, and I'm not necessarily a huge fan of that part of it, but,
Right. But it's Halloween.
Yeah, but I love watching little kids get scared by stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, look, I love seeing adults scared by stuff too. You know, I mean, my sister and I, when she lived here, we would always try to sneak up on one another, basically, and scare the shit out of each other. So, you know.
Yeah, it's harder now that my kids are older, but it's still something they try to scare me, and they're just terrible at it.
Right.
You know, but I can always get them.
Right.
Because, you know, despite the fact I'm like twice the size as my daughter, she walks around the house like a fucking T-Rex.
Right.
You know? And then I could be like in my steel toe work boots, and I'm like a cat walking through here.
Right.
And I don't know why. It's just the way it is.
Yeah. That's funny. Oh, man. Yeah. So, that's all I got from Halloween. So.
Right.
So, let's...
The only real follow-up I have is tomorrow morning, because I always wake up my kids for school, because for some reason they just can't set an alarm. I don't know why.
Right.
You think since they have cell phones now, they'd figure it out. But,
you just walk in and throw like a cup of water on them, right?
I've been tempted. It happened to me, except there was a pan of water.
Yeah, same. Yeah, it didn't happen to me, but it happened to my brother. My dad said it one time. It was like, get up or I'm throwing water on you. My brother didn't get up, and he got soaked.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened to me.
I learned a long time ago.
Hey, if you don't get out of bed, I'm going to come back with a pan of water. And I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
Good dude! Yeah. And soaked.
Our dads definitely shared that trait, which was don't call their bluff.
Yeah, exactly. Now I'm gonna crank up the Bluetooth little portable speaker for tomorrow morning for Leah.
Yeah.
And fire this up for her. Gotta wait for the hook, Brian.
My girl's like candy, a candy queen. She knocks me high up off my feet. She's so fat.
Right? Yeah. Oh, she's going to be so mad at me.
Oh, yeah. Wait. She's going to not find that funny at all.
No. She's going to be so pissed. And it's going to be the best moment of my whole week.
Yeah. You know, I'm a big fan of the things that you mark out for, you know. That,
oh, yeah.
You know, when you're like, oh, it's a proud father moment right there.
Oh,
you know?
Yeah. Oh, God. You know? When Jeannie told me the story, that was immediately after I hung up the phone. I was like, oh, I know exactly how I'm treating this.
Right?
I know exactly how I'm waking her up in the morning.
I like it.
Candy girl. Little new addition.
Oh, that's funny. I like it.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm. So, do you want to go back and talk about Beer Fest at all, or do you just want to leave that for the enthusiast?
Well, I'll touch on a little bit of it, but it'll be later in the show, because it's kind of got something to do for Q to W.
Okay, fair enough.
But, you know, the enthusiast, it was, it ended up just being Jeannie and I recording it, because I didn't bring any equipment up there, and it's not as low energy as low energy beer tasting.
Uh-huh.
But it's about, it's probably a good 40 minutes of us talking about Beer Fest without our homework and.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it is what it is.
Fair enough.
No, I had a weird moment, earlier this week. And I if you follow me on the old Snapchat there, ladies and gentlemen, which I threw I'm like, hey, and that little Twitter group, that are like retweet all the things for each other. I was like, hey, is anybody here do Snapchat? And they're all like, we're too old.
All right.
I'm probably older than all of them. Just saying.
Fair enough.
Anywho, if you follow me on the old Snapchat, though, you'll already know the story. But earlier this week, I was working, right? Mm-hmm. And I, depending on what neighborhood I'm in, I typically just leave the van running, run in, do my shit, run back out.
Right.
Whatever. It's never been a problem. So I did this, and this was out at going local Levis Commons, which for all you not in the know, it's basically like one of those high-end. It's our high-end shopping mall around here now.
Yeah.
But it's one of those ones that's outdoors. So it's like it's like a small town, but it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was out there. And it was probably a good 15 minutes, after like the suns were coming out, and I'm like, where are my sunglasses at? I left them on my dashboard. This is weird. Like dug through my van. Someone stole my sunglasses off my dashboard.
But didn't take the truck.
Didn't take the truck. My iPhone was in the cup holder.
Wow.
I have my, like, I carry a backpack full of my shit in it. That was in there.
Yeah. All easy grab and go things.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
And it's not like they're good sunglasses either.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was like I usually buy aviators by the gross off of Amazon.
Right.
But I was out. So, and I needed sunglasses. So I ran into Target and I spent, like $15 on a pair of like Champion Oakley knockoffs.
Right.
And I really didn't like them, but I just need something to block the damn sun.
Yeah.
You
could have just used your hands.
That was the problem. I'm like, I need actual glasses, not my hands.
You steer with your knee and just cover your eyes with your glasses. See?
Oh, I see. I didn't think about it like that.
Yeah, perfectly safe and fine.
Perfectly safe and fine.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, someone ripped off my shitty sunglasses.
Wow. Wow.
It's just weird though.
What a shit king. Yeah.
I mean, they were like bright orange, like the lenses. So maybe they just caught their eye.
Yeah.
And they have that Oakley shape. So they're like, oh, here's some fucking Oakleys or something.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
And then Hotter Champion, you bitch.
I'm just laughing at the idea of somebody going up to a running vehicle and just like, oh, I'm going to just take the sunglasses.
Yeah, it's weird.
Weird, yeah. I mean, I guess they really just wanted the sunglasses. They really weren't trying to, like, rob you, It's
like, oh, it's so bright.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
I don't know. And then, the rest of the week was kind of like gray and shitty, so I still haven't bought sunglasses I actually want. But then Friday, the sun was coming out again. Mm-hmm. And we have all these Ray-Ban knockoffs, what they call Wayfarer style, right? It's called Ray-Bans.
Okay.
We have a bunch of them at work with our work logo, like, on the side of them. I'm like, I need some sunglasses.
Yeah.
So I just grabbed a pair of the black ones. I immediately, out in my office, grabbed my black Sharpie, colored in the logo.
Wow.
I need that on my side of my head.
That's really funny.
All right.
Did anyone notice and say anything to you about it?
No one said anything yet, so I don't really give a shit, to be honest. But
if so, just be like, I picked them up this way. I don't.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Somebody must have really hated this place.
But yeah, the case of the missing sunglasses.
Wow.
So weird.
That's so weird. Huh.
I know, right?
Wow.
I just need to, hop on Amazon and buy like 10 more pairs of aviators for $3 or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Just cracks me up that, first of all, you go through that many sunglasses.
I buy them cheap, but they get scratched up immediately.
Right.
It's basically the thing.
Right. Which I understand, because there's no sense in spending, $100 on a pair of sunglasses or something that you're just going to tear up.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of how I feel about it.
Yeah.
It's a very ZZ Top cheap sunglasses moment,
Mm-hmm. Understand. Yeah. Yep. Totally understandable.
So, whatever.
So if you're listening and you stole Tony's sunglasses, hope you enjoy them.
Yeah, they're not Oakleys, and I have inner ear aids, so enjoy. Is that a thing?
It is now.
I guess.
Sure. Why not?
I guess.
Yeah. Wow.
I
didn't have anything. What? Go ahead.
Also, this is a fun one. My wife brought home this huge satchel. Like, it's a plastic satchel. I'm not going to call it a bag. I'm going to call it a satchel.
Okay.
Of condoms.
Okay.
That her work was like giving away and stuff.
Okay.
Because, she's part of the social work network, so she's got to have one, like, hey, promote safe sex. But she brought them home for like, and she went, children, if you need condoms, these are for you.
Wow. Well, I mean, it's...
Which Logan was like, I can't wait to tell my friends this. And I haven't talked to him about how they reacted yet.
Yeah.
Leo sounded like she was horrified.
Right.
Yeah, but it's a brand that I've never heard of. It's called One.
Okay.
But you can tell they're very much marketed for the urban crowd. Because all the packaging is very urban. It's like when McDonald's is running those like da 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 commercials,
Right, yeah.
It's like that, but condom wrappers. It's weird.
I'm just picturing the McDonald's commercial now with the condom wrappers. Wait.
Da 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 da. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm loving it. Holding up condoms.
Yeah, so we got this big ass bag of Urban condoms in our house right now.
Wow.
I should really take a picture of them.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, I'll have to take a picture and post it on the Salty Instagram tomorrow.
Yeah.
After the show's up.
Yeah, that's
it's
wow.
It is something.
Mm-hmm.
It's hilarious. I love my life.
It makes me wonder though, because it's like, well, does that company or whoever market non-urban targeting ones? I
don't know. You know what?
Just because
one condoms. Look at that. I put in one CON. It's the first thing that popped up. One condoms Facebook. Sweet, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Here we go. I'll click on the one condoms mixed pleasures 40 count. It's like they come in a tube like tennis balls. That's fun.
That's weird. All right.
Well, yeah, they definitely. It's just they definitely have very unique packaging on some of these.
Huh.
But they also have plain ones. So I don't know.
All right. A little something for everybody then, I guess.
I guess, right?
Yeah. All right.
Like this one's called the Bang model, and it looks like a comic book Bang.
Oh my God! Please tell me the condoms have like onomatopoeia on them.
That would be hilarious, right? Actually, some of these, I just pulled up Google Images now.
Uh-huh.
Whoever, this company just has more. They have more respect in my book now.
Okay.
Because one of them just says "Bow Chicka Wow Wow" on it.
Wow.
This one just has a picture of a rooster. It just says "one huge" and it's a rooster.
Wow.
All right, big fan of this company. All of a sudden.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, this one's got a beaver on it. One wood at a time. All right, good on you, one condoms.
Fair enough.
Despite the fact I've never heard of you before.
Right.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like I said, love my wife because she's like never shies away from the sex stuff of the kids. It's probably good.
Right.
So.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, you'd rather have them know something's available than not use something or whatever.
Exactly. Or you hear those horror stories like, wrapped it in saran wrap.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah.
Like what? What is this, leftovers? What the fuck are you doing?
Right. Oh man.
Well, he's get some press and seal. Get some quality.
Press and seal. Yeah. Hey, look, it stays on.
I know, it stays on. It's crazy.
I don't even have to
Stick a side in.
I don't even have to use a rubber band this time.
Yeah, all right.
Didn't really
Bitch, give me that hair tie. I'm like, what?
Didn't really snap my balls last time.
Oh.
Hey. So, anything else for the week?
Yeah. Yeah, actually. Yeah, Brian. Yeah.
Yeah, you got things? All right.
Yes. I got a little gym story for you.
Okay.
I know I've talked about this person before.
Really quick, I want to point out how funny it was in my head that we transitioned from a condom story to a little gym story.
That's pretty good.
All right, moving on.
Unintentional hilarity.
Right.
So, I know I've talked about this little lady before that likes to work out in the gym, and she like stands in the middle of the squat rack and then curls her little 10-pound dumbbells.
Yeah.
And because it's the only place with a mirror,
Sure.
It's annoying.
Got to make sure your form's right.
I guess, right?
Mm-hmm. That's why.
But, on the side of squat rack, it has like, where you rack the weights.
Yeah.
And for some reason, it's only in this one spot. They got like the 35-pound plates. I don't know why.
Okay.
But okay, so where those are at, there's the space that you've been in my downstairs bathroom here, the little like water closet.
Yeah.
It's not very big, right?
No, not at all. Yeah.
Not at all. It's basically like that amount of space in between like the side of the squat rack and the dumbbell rack.
Okay.
There's like a little bit of floor there. And this woman, and I'm over there like using the squat rack, she sets up a yoga mat in that little space.
Oh my! Maybe she was wanting you to do some squats over her.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It was bizarre to me.
She's like, make me a cup of tea.
I had to like like bend my body around the barbell to not step on her to like rack my weights. When she and she's not even doing yoga. Like she'd like do some sort of it looks like she was like a dog pissing on something, and then she would get back to fucking around on her phone.
Right. Wow.
Like I like and like it made me realize that sometimes I think I have issues because it was just like pure rage.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and I know if I talk to her, it's gonna get ugly.
Right.
So my best bet is to just like kumbaya myself and walk away.
Yep.
Because if I open my mouth, like all I want to do is drop this plate on her vagina.
Wow, that's pretty aggressive. Yeah.
Like like I said, it's one of those moments. I think I was like maybe 2 or 3 molestations away from being a serial killer.
Oh, wow. Yeah. All right.
Which,
the question everyone's asking now is, how many did you have? Find out in his book.
Find out my book.
Yeah.
2 or 3 molestations away from being a serial killer. In parentheses, and I was a cute kid.
Yeah. Aww. Yeah, of course, because the front of the book is, you as a kid.
It's like a bit, yeah. It's that picture I throw up on Throwback Thursday every once in a while of me with like the little doctor outfit
yes.
on.
Yes.
Ladies.
Yeah. Nice.
Would you like to play doctor?
Oh my.
But yeah, it's just, I don't understand it. And that's why I've talked to Jeannie before, because we have a family membership for the Y.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty much the only person who uses it.
Uh-huh.
And I keep going, if no one else is going to use this, I'm going to stop paying for that. I'm just going to go get a gym membership where I have more equipment.
Right.
And hopefully less idiots, or at least they'll be more spread out.
Right. Now remember, you can't go to Planet Fitness because it's a judgment-free zone, Tony.
Yeah, and I'm super full of judgment.
As soon as you try to walk in, they'll be like, no.
I might as well work out with a black robe and a powdered wig on.
That would be hilarious.
But it's honestly, I don't have a problem with, it's just when people act stupid like that.
I know.
It's like, there's all this floor space and you're in the tiniest nook that people actually like want to get to the dumbbells, or what are you doing?
Well, I mean, dumbbells go in that area, so I mean.
Yeah, that's true. Good point, Brian. I didn't even make that association.
Just going home, that's all.
Yeah, go back to your home.
It's funny though, like I totally understand what you're saying, because deli rage is a perfect example.
Yeah.
Like I'm standing in the deli and I just want to throttle someone's neck.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Or, when I see someone not put a cart back at the store, and they'll just put it in like the parking space next to it. And I if I had a way of like firing lasers out of my eyes and blowing their car up, I would do it. Because they're just awful people.
Well, in fact, I had a deli rage type moment when I was working last week, because I was in a building at BGSU's campus waiting forever for the elevator to show up. Elevator shows up, and this dude that was waiting with me, we were standing out there for a decent amount of time.
Right.
He's on his phone, takes a sweet time walking the elevator. And I'm like, hey man, which floor do you need? Floor number 2. I wanted to like throw him out the window immediately.
Right.
Like follow him up, throw him out the window.
Yeah.
It's like there's a set of stairs 2 feet behind you while you're just standing there.
That's the part. Like, I don't have a problem with somebody using the elevator to go to the second floor, but it's funny that they'll stand there for like 20 minutes rather than just go up the stairs, Yes. That is weird to me. Now, I get it if someone's got, a knee issue or a wheelchair or something like that. It's going to be a little
able-bodied young man.
Yeah, exactly. That's just like, dude, come on. It's funny you mentioned that, actually, because I had an elevator deli rage kind of situation. I think I already told you about it, though, which was I was at my doctor's office and this woman came running, like almost running in. And my doctor's office is like it's a 2-story place. The second level is dental. The lower part is like mental health and general practitioners. So she comes running in. There's a line of a few of us waiting to get to the counter, and she just like pushes past everybody basically and is just like, where's dental? And the poor woman working the counter is kind of like, down there, you know, points toward them. And the woman like goes over there and, she goes up to the elevator and she just starts mashing the button on the elevator and just mashing the shit out of this.
Mush.
And from a good distance away, I can see that there's like a green post, like a neon green Post-it note about 2 inches above her finger. And I'm sure it says out of order, because what other sign is there usually on an elevator? You know,
right,
unless
exactly.
maybe some other button didn't work or something, like only goes up or something like that. You know, so I was like, this is, you know, and I'm shaking my head and just watching her mash this thing like 100 times. And then she yells over to the woman at the counter, like, you know, like, is this broke? You know, and I'm just like,
is this broke?
It's like, there's a sign right there. So then the girl goes, well, there's stairs down, you know, a little further to your left. So the woman goes and she grabs the door handle and yanks on the door handle. And it does not open. And you could tell she was visibly mad. And
right.
She then, and I looked at this and it's like, I've been down there, I've gone up those stairs. The door handle there is one of those like latch ones that you have to push down and then pull, right? It's not just a bar that you would push through or pull, right? So I'm like, because, and I mean, I could just feel myself getting pissed at this woman. Like I wanted to just yell at her. Like, read the fucking signs, you know?
Exactly.
Because if she read the sign on the elevator, she'd see it was broke. And by the way, I confirmed it by going down to the elevator just to see if it was out of order. And that is what the note said. Out of order, written with a thick Sharpie on a bright green Post-it. And, you know, so she figured it out after about 4 pulls that she needed to, cause she's like, this is locked. And the girl's like, it shouldn't be, you know, and I'm sitting there going, I'm pretty sure it might be illegal for that to be locked because that's kind of a fire escape, you know? Yeah.
I hate people.
Yeah. See, so like I said, I get it. You know, it's really hard for me at times because I instantly go into a rage at times. And it's like, you know, like you said, you have to go into a kumbaya kind of moment to pull yourself out of it.
And, you know, it's not even that it's like, it's not that I don't hate people. Like,
right.
I generally like people.
Yeah.
It's when people are just doing stupid shit.
Yeah.
That for some reason, it just drives me bonkers.
Right. Yep.
It's like that. That's why I would have had a problem with the whole Leah candy thing.
Yeah.
Because, well, one, I have a problem she ate the candy, but 2, there's just wrappers everywhere.
Yeah.
At least get rid of fucking evidence, man.
Right. And that's the thing. You guys are not home enough when she is home. She could bury it in the trash, no problem.
Yeah.
You know? It's not even like, oh man, you know, like where you'll hear about parents going, yeah, I moved the kid's dresser out and there was like 4,000 oatmeal cream pie wrappers back there, you know?
Right.
Or something.
Yeah, they were just on the floor. So it's just when ignorant shit like that happens, that's what irks me.
Yep, I'm with you. I'm with you. It's like the 2 things I hate more than anything, like when I'm in a store especially, is like I can't stand inefficiency. Like if I can look at a situation and go, why aren't they doing it this way? You know, it bugs the hell out of me. And the other is like people basically, like you were saying, like doing really dumb stuff or being really inconsiderate. And again, that's the shopping cart thing. Like they're just leaving them out in the lot. And it's like, you know, if wind blows or whatever, that could go scratch somebody's car. Come on. It's like everybody I know would be pissed if a cart scratched their car.
Yes.
Right? I've never met a person that's just, well, I have, I should say, if they have a real piece of shit or something. But, you know, it's like most people would be like, oh man, you know, and really mad. So why do so many people not put the carts away? And I know the answer is just laziness, you know?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
But yeah, old man rant.
We do old man rant sometimes on the show, guys.
Yeah. It's really not though. That kind of stuff made me mad since even like I was a kid. I used to like, I would walk through, like as I was walking up to the building, I would grab shopping carts and put them in the corral thing because it made me mad.
It is just, it's one thing at least we've always got my kids to do is because, be like, hey, you take the cart back. So hopefully that'll be ingrained in their heads when they're adults and on their own.
Right.
Put the fucking cart back.
I'll be honest. I don't know why all stores don't do what Aldi does, which is charge you a quarter, and then you'll either give it to someone else and they'll give you your quarter back, or you will put it back to get your quarter back. And because if you just leave it in the lot, you lose your quarter. And it's amazing how every time you go by there, there's almost never a cart out in the lot. I
don't think I've ever seen one just sitting out in the lot.
And it's amazing because it's only a quarter, but that's enough. It's
enough incentive.
Yeah, you'd think it'd have to be more like $1 or a couple bucks or something to really get people's attention.
It's apparently that magic number when it's like, well, I don't mind putting a quarter in to get the cart.
Yeah.
But I'm for sure getting this back.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, and I know some people, have like, it's their Aldi quarter, basically.
Yeah.
Like
they keep it in their car
they've been
or in
using,
their purse or whatever.
They've been using that quarter for like 2 years. And that's fine. That's great. Like I said, the reason Aldi does it isn't to keep people's cars from getting scratched. It's so they don't have to pay people to go out and pull the carts in.
Yeah.
But whatever. I don't have a problem with it. I like it because it keeps, it also has that side benefit of keeping carts away from people's cars,
Absolutely.
Or, how many times you go to pull into a space and there's a damn cart halfway through the space, and it's annoying. Anyway, we should move on from our
if there's not a car opposite of that cart, I'm not opposed to just pushing it with my Jeep.
Right. Making the problem worse, Tony. No.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
This might not be as interesting to people who aren't in the beer.
Okay.
So, but I'm going to nerd out a little bit here, Brian.
Okay.
There's a local Italian restaurant, Mancy's Italian. I know you're familiar.
Mm-hmm.
That they recently opened up a bottle shop.
Right.
And I haven't checked out until today. I looked at their website. They actually have quite a selection of craft beer on tap and in bottles.
Right.
Well, they're doing this thing, Brian. They apparently Fridays they must do like beer tastings or I don't know. But they're doing a thing that from now until until December 22nd, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Every Friday for every flight of beer you have, your name gets entered into a raffle, right?
Okay.
They're raffling off, they call it a vertical flight of KBS. So it's a 6-pack.
Okay.
And it's got KBS from 2012 to 2017.
Oh, okay.
So a bottle of each.
Okay.
How cool is that?
That's really interesting.
Yeah. For those of you not knowing, KBS, it's a breakfast stout from Founders, one of my favorite breweries, that it's in extremely high demand.
Yeah.
And as soon as it drops, it's immediately hard to find.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And we live in the state where it's made.
Yes, and it's hard to find.
And it's hard to find, yeah. Let alone the fact that they do ship, to various parts of the country. So.
What's even going to be harder to find from Founders, since we're talking about beer, the last barrel aged they're doing for this year, is bourbon barrel aged CBS.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's going to be tough to find too.
Yeah, I mean the Canadian breakfast stout's already tough.
Yeah.
I mean, we got lucky when we were in Grand Rapids for Beer Fest, and they happened to have it on tap, so we got to try it.
Nice, yeah.
Right?
Yep.
But I would love to find some of this bourbon barrel aged stuff. It's dry. It's dropped already. It's starting to trickle out.
Oh, okay. I didn't know it was dropped already. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just saw the ad for it today. Actually, I think on Founders Facebook or Instagram or something. Yeah.
Sexy lady Mountie getting all ready.
Yeah, because as soon as I saw the Mountie costume, I was like, "Oh, I bet it's CBS."
Oh yeah.
And yeah,
sure enough.
Yeah. That's a good way to go out of that series.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So.
Beer.
Yep. We enjoy the beer, I've heard.
Yes, indeed.
A bit. Just a bit. So, here's something that I absolutely can't stand, but I had to bring up. Well, I can't, but I'm curious what your opinion is. Did you see this past week at some point someone posted a picture on Twitter of basically a normal cheese pizza, but it had strawberries on it also.
Yes, I did see. I didn't see it on Twitter, but I saw it. I think on Reddit or something.
That makes sense because it basically broke the internet. So
right,
because there's already a hot debate over whether or not pineapple belongs on pizza, which it doesn't unless you're a fucking heathen. But but anyway, so this was worse because most people were like, ew, strawberry, because at least with pineapple, people automatically think ham,
Yeah, a little Hawaiian, barbecue pizza, or
right.
fuck to call it.
Yeah, you don't normally think of strawberries with tomato sauce and cheese and dough.
Yeah, I don't. All right, here's what I'm going to say.
Okay.
I can't see it with tomato sauce.
Right.
But I could see it with maybe like a white sauce.
That's what I was thinking originally. And somebody in the Twitter group I was in when I first saw it, she mentioned pretty close to, see if I can find it real quick here. Because there's been people who've done, there we go. It says on this thing from foodandwine.com that there was a vegetarian and Whole Foods blog posted a recipe for strawberry, basil, and balsamic vinegar pizza back in 2013. That sounds like a winner.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Because I've had a pear and like balsamic and like walnut pizza.
Yep.
And it was fucking terrific.
I remember that pear pizza. Or no, was it a peach one that I had? I can't remember. There was one that had a fruit on it, and I was like, I don't know about this. But it was really good.
Rockies has one with peaches on it.
Okay, that's what it was then. I had
that's good too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I can almost see like the sweet of the strawberry with like the salty of mozzarella.
Exactly. Yeah.
That makes sense to me.
Or here's another one that was strawberry, caramelized onion, bacon, and ricotta.
Yeah, I could see that.
That makes perfect sense. But my issue is that, what it comes down to really is that when people think of pizza, you think of it generally a certain thing, even though realistically, pizza basically is just, it's essentially the crust, it's like, here's the crust, put some toppings on it. It's a pizza, basically,
right. Yeah.
So, but yeah, the strawberries on one with tomato sauce and regular cheese. No.
Yeah, I can't see that. It just doesn't sound appetizing at all.
Right. I am with you though. The mozzarella with that could, but I'd want fresh mozzarella type on it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I wouldn't want like shredded on it.
Well, because what melted my brain was
unless it was shredded fresh, then I'm fine.
Well, yeah. Well, it was like a year ago, and I know I've talked about this, but when we went to Cincinnati Beer Fest, shout out Hobie.
The podcast your wife's from?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, just making sure.
Dev and I split a dessert, and it was like a mozzarella cheese dessert.
Yeah, and that's the way most of them have been positioned is as desserts, but yeah. If someone was like, here's strawberry pizza, and if it was free, I would try it. Yeah,
I would try it.
Fair enough.
Even if the tomato sauce, if it was, but I'm not buying it.
Right, for sure. Well, that's the other thing too, is like even the one with the balsamic and all that, it's like, I don't want a whole one of those. Like a piece of that, sure. Maybe
right.
two, yeah, that's all I'd ever want of that. Because, I don't know. It's just, it feels either like an appetizer or sort of like a savory dessert, basically. That's more of kind of what I see it as. So, right. I don't know. But, yeah, just people all over Twitter were just blowing up on this though, which, I saw a lot of ones that made me laugh and stuff. So it's always fun when you see something that just makes the internet blow up, and it's something ridiculous. I don't mean something, tragic or something, but.
Right.
Like one of the posts on Twitter was basically, I can't remember what it was, but it's something to the effect of, like all of us that are fighting over pineapple, whether pineapple does or doesn't belong on pizza, need to join up to take down this,
this disaster.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, I think it's going to be one of those things that, people like fucking food now.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. You're not going to, I don't want to order a strawberry pizza from Pizza Hut. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly.
I don't want that on the menu unless it's, a dessert, Well, because they mentioned that, how there's some where it's basically, like the dough, so like whipped cream and the strawberries on top of it, basically, and that's a dessert or whatever. It's like, if it's that, sure, whatever, I don't give a shit. You know?
It's like strawberry shortcake, the pizza.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, I hear you. Like, I'm gonna go to, like, there's this place in Sandusky, Ohio called, I think it's called the Brick Oven Bistro. Mm. And that's where I had that pear pizza. And they make goofy ass pizzas that are delicious.
Right. That's their gimmick. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm. I'm not going to get like burn victim face Papa John pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not getting their strawberry pizza.
He needs the help, man. His business is hurting.
Fuck him. But if like we're in Grand Rapids, we go to the Mitten.
Yeah.
And we get a pizza flight and they have, some sort of goofy strawberry pizza. I'll be like, all right.
We'd throw that in the flight for sure. I mean,
because any place that has Thai Cobb pizza and it tastes like, peanut chicken.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So, I'm in.
Yeah. That's why I was saying is it's like I said, it's like when I'm just wanting like pizza, like average pizza, normal, what everyone kind of considers as normal pizza. No, I absolutely wouldn't want this on there. Just like I don't want pineapple on it. But if I go to these kind of places, would I eat it? I don't know. I don't love pineapple anyway, so that'd be a tough one for me. But depends on how it was, presented. And that's what the different fruits and stuff,
Yeah.
Because I've already had stuff on pizza that I would never have thought was good on pizza. Right. The hot dog pizza we had at the Mitten was so good.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was so good. And it's something that I just wouldn't think would be anything more than a gimmick,
Yeah.
But so good. And, so it's like I said, I'd be willing to try the other ones, but certainly not the tomato sauce one. Unless, like you said, if it's free, maybe.
Yeah.
You're walking through the grocery store and they're like, hey, you want a piece of this? I'm like, sure.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Do I?
No, but yes.
No, but you should, so you can tell your grandkids about it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, no, but it's free, so yes. Speaking of,
I guess.
They were, was it not the last time I was in the grocery store, the time before? They had a booth where they were giving out free samples of Red's Apple Ale.
What?
Yeah. Like little, basically, not even 3 ounces, probably like an ounce to 2 ounce pour.
Right.
But I was still like, I've never seen free booze before.
Not unless like Anderson's used to do beer tastings.
Yeah.
But they would advertise them. Hey,
right.
We're doing a beer tasting. Blah, blah.
This was just a table like over by the sushi that just, woman standing there and, all sorts of cans of Red's Apple Ale. And
how many times can you go back?
I don't know. I didn't go up once, but it was, still I was just like, huh. It's like,
wait, was this before or after Halloween?
I feel like it was before.
Think of all the disguises you could have had.
You're right. Damn it. It would have been better after because then I could have got discount costumes.
Ooh, that's true. Good
that way
point.
It's more efficient.
Well, I'm not saying you're buying them. You just go put it on and then go take it back and throw it on a rack and get a different one.
Sure. Okay. No, that makes sense. All right. I'm back in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just thought it was kind of weird because I hadn't seen that before, around here, and I'm okay with it. I just wish they would, get a better booze.
Now, did you try them?
Try.
Because I'm not a fan of the
I've had it before.
Ciders in general. I've never had a Reds, but like if I walked into Kroger's and there was like 4 different varieties of Reds on for sampling, I'd be like, I could pump up my own tap numbers a little bit.
That's fair. They had 2 and I've already had both of them.
Right.
So I'm not, same thing. I'm not a cider person, and they weren't as sweet as some of the other ciders. I'll give them that. But otherwise, I was just like,
that's actually refreshing because that's my problem with ciders. It's usually like drinking a sugar bomb.
Yeah, it's still pretty sweet, but it's not, But I don't know. It just, it didn't do anything for me. So that's why I said, if they had something I enjoy over there, like they had like Mommy Bay Oktoberfest, I would have been like, ooh.
Like, oh, don't mind if I do.
Yeah, hey mom, grab one of these.
Wait, let's go get one of these little hibachis and make some brats. Right? We'll be rocking and rolling.
Yeah. Well, you already had grocery store sushi right next door, so.
Oh, perfect.
What more could you want?
Right? Botulism.
You've already had it.
Yeah, I know. Whatever that was. Do not recommend.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, it's just kind of popped into my head as we were talking here.
Yeah, I've ran into that at beer stores.
Yeah, see, that I would expect it more at a liquor store or a beer store or something, or, whatever, but this was in a Kroger. I've never seen them give booze away. I
mean, I think of the popularity of the old craft beers. I think they're trying to just step it up everywhere.
Yeah, could be, or maybe they just don't have booze places approach them or something, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know either.
Maybe Reds was just like, hey, how about giving away some of our beer? Now, if they had like, big dumb PBRs or something, I clearly would have gotten on that,
Or even if like, like say, the Black Cloister, they're like, hey, we're starting to can more stuff. Here's some samplings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Even if it's something I had, I'd probably still be like, ooh.
Well, yeah, because Black Cloister.
Yeah. How many can I get?
Yeah.
Can I get a flight of these?
that would have been the question.
Yeah, that's the play.
Yeah. Can I get a flight? Yeah. What? If it's someone that represents the brewery, they'll probably get a kick out of it. If it's just a Kroger employee, they'll probably look at you like...
that's the thing, is if it was someone I recognized from us going there, I probably would do it. If it wasn't, I probably would be like, I don't know how this is going over.
Never mind. Never mind.
No.
Can I get a flight of these? That's hilarious.
At the free beer tasting. Oh, man. So...
I'm ready for a flight beers. That sounds delicious.
It does. I'm with you.
All right.
So earlier, was it a day or two ago, I saw, I've mentioned before that I absolutely, since Twitter introduced night mode, I've never taken it off of it.
Yeah.
Which is one of the things I used to love about Tweetbot, was you could use, the black, background. And like I said before, it was good for, I could still look at it when, I'd have migraines or whatever, or it doesn't feel like a trigger with it being so damn bright,
Right.
They, finally, they offered it now as on the desktop version of Twitter. So when I'm on here doing stuff for the podcast, I just switched it over today and I'm like, oh, so much better. Cause otherwise it's just bright white, just,
Yeah, melting your retinas.
Yeah. So, and like I said, there's some days where that can be enough to kind of trigger a migraine for me. So, I always like when I can find little things like that happen that I can be like, ooh, this is one less thing, that's going to cause me issues.
You ever think to see if maybe there's like a Chrome plugin that might do this, something like that?
I didn't. That's
like maybe there's a night mode Chrome plugin that just like flips the script, dog.
Right. That's a good idea. I'll look for that. I had not considered that though. No.
Either that or I just gave away a great idea.
Right. Someone's already programming it.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Oh my luck.
Yep. So yeah, that was it on that. I just, kudos to Twitter for doing that, because pretty much anything that has a night mode option, I'm going to take it, because it's just not so bright.
Anytime it switches over, they should play Bob Seger night moves, but just call it night modes.
That would be funny. Well, that's what Apple's thing has. I don't know if you've turned that on or not, to where when you, it gradually darkens the screen,
Yeah.
That's weird. That, I don't know why, but my eyes don't seem to like that as well as they should.
It takes the blue out of it and kind of makes it more orange.
Yeah, exactly.
It's supposed to be good for your circadian rhythm.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Because you can actually, I don't know if you can see my screen, it's probably too white.
Yes.
But mine has a nice orange tint to it, because I like that on mine.
Mm.
I had it over on my Kindle Fire.
Yeah.
This guy right here.
Mm-hmm.
That Kindle Fire.
Right.
It's night mode that gradually shifts into whatever they call it.
Yeah.
It gets so ridiculously orange that I had to turn it off.
Yeah.
It's so orange. It looks like I threw it in a mug of Sunkissed.
See, and that doesn't make any sense. Why would, because orange is bright, and again, the whole point of this is because, like you said, the blue lights and whatever, tell your brain, wake up,
I think the theory is the blue is hey, it's daytime. It's time to go hunt and gather things to eat and not die in the wilderness.
Exactly.
And then when it starts getting orange, it's hey, asshole, time to go sleep.
Right, because
it's the sun's supposed to be going down.
Exactly, yeah. But the problem is when it gets too orange, I mean, now
it's you can hardly read it.
Yeah.
It's what are you doing, man?
Yeah. So, yeah.
It looks like stretched, I don't know, trying to think of somebody that's ridiculously tan. One of those, I'm just going to drop it. I'm getting tired.
Wow. I mean, there's one.
Bail out.
There's one that anyone listening probably is thinking of, which would be.
I thought about it, but I didn't want to go there.
So let's go with Oompa Loompas instead.
Yeah, it's like you basically stretched an Oompa Loompa scrotum over my screen.
Why did it have to be a scrotum?
Because it's thin skin.
Why couldn't it be the chest or back or its face?
Well, the chest,
Buttocks?
I don't know what an Oompa chest looks like. The back, I'm assuming it's scarred from all the whippings. Because, Wonka factory.
That's probably true. Okay, fair enough. The face might be kind of cool to see on there. I mean, it'll look like the Book of the Dead, basically.
I like that, actually.
Yeah,
You pull it off the shelf, it just goes, oh, bah.
Like, and run away.
Like, oh, volume 2, you creepy bastard.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Oh, man. What else do I have here? Do you have anything else?
For a week? No. I mean,
I'm already just getting into whatever, because I basically did nothing.
Let's get into it. I was like, I got some stuff, but I should probably store it up for the next show. I don't want to blow my load.
Yeah, you kind of do. So, I saw this earlier today. Hobie posted. They posted from a different website, but I went online to kind of see if I could find more websites to corroborate it, because I wasn't familiar with the site they used. So, anyway, it was a report that said, and this site says that it's originally from the Hollywood Reporter, which, is something I've heard of, so I feel like it's probably fairly true, but take it with a grain of salt anyway. It said that Marvel can no longer sell licensed properties to companies not owned by Disney.
Really?
Yeah. Which would mean that there's no new, Netflix shows going to be coming, which because Disney's launching their streaming service.
Right.
Now, the other side of that, though, is when they mention that, in this article also, which I did not know, Disney owns half of Hulu.
Holy shit, I didn't know that either.
I didn't either. Well, there's going to be a Runaways. You remember the Runaways comic?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's going to be a series on Hulu pretty soon. I think next week, I think it drops. So, there's potential that it could go to Hulu because Disney owns part of Hulu, kind of a thing. But everyone just thinks that things will just straight go to Disney's streaming service to add value to it.
Right. That is what did they do with the back episodes, though? I mean, do they stay on Netflix?
I would think the ones with Netflix probably will stay on Netflix or maybe it'll be on both or something, because I'm pretty sure Netflix has some ownership in the distribution and whatnot, So.
Yeah, it's because they're sold as Netflix originals, not, Disney made this and we just happen to have it.
Right. But it's a lot of people were really hoping, as this points out, for a Blade series or Moon Knight, that kind of thing, which would both, Blade would be awesome. I think Blade could be really cool. Awesome. Moon Knight is a different one because, I've never really read much Moon Knight, so I don't have a lot of feeling either way for that character.
Right. It'd be a whole episode about Blade, about him just dodging taxmen.
Pretty much, yeah.
That'd be sick. Wesley.
So, this is it's an interesting move, but at the same time, I kind of wonder if it's one of those things where maybe people have read it and kind of overreacted a little bit to it. Now, there's also a potential here, which Disney could put this into play and then start buying other things.
Right.
Would it shock you at any point if Disney made a bid for Netflix?
No, it would not.
Or tries to just straight out buy Hulu all the way, something like that. I mean, it wouldn't shock me,
But that rat has money coming out of every orifice.
Yeah. Well, plus then instead of starting from scratch for a service, you already have established.
Yeah, it's already there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, that kind of stuff wouldn't shock me either. Companies do that all the time. Amazon's a great example. They were like, hey, we're going to do groceries. And people are like, okay, that's kind of weird. And then they're like, oh, by the way, we bought Whole Foods.
Yeah.
You're
like, oh, okay.
Oh, all right. Now this makes more sense.
It means I can get my fresh, locally sourced cabbage.
It does. It does.
Excellent.
So
what about kohlrabi?
It just sounds like somebody's name, like someone from the South or something. Kohlrabi, get your ass back in here.
Exactly.
Betsy, Mary Sue, Kohlrabi. Yep.
Yeah, you are correct.
Yeah, so I'm curious to see how this turns out down the road, though. If it, it
is interesting.
Mm-hmm. because it could mean the end of the stuff with Netflix, which everyone kind of figured was coming anyway. If Disney's going to launch their own streaming, why would you want to put a bunch of it on Netflix,
right,
versus your own? You know, but at the same time, you know, Disney, when they bought Marvel, they didn't make Universal get rid of the Marvel rides. Universal still pays them for those things, and they're just like, yeah, whatever, we're just, you know, we'll put cool things in our park too, but, you know, we'll also take your money.
yeah, exactly.
So it wouldn't shock me if they did that with Netflix too. Like maybe certain things they leave on, you know, over there, and, you know, but just not sell new properties.
I would kind of hope so, just because it's already established on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I could see if they're like, all right, bitches, we got this sick-ass Disney streaming service, guys. We're going to make new Marvel shows for it.
Yeah.
That I can almost see more.
Right. And I'm sure they probably will. I mean, I can't see why they wouldn't, you know. So we'll see how this plays out, though.
Yeah,
like I said,
sure.
Might be something big, might not be. Like I said, you know, you never know. Disney may just buy out Hulu or some crazy shit like. I mean, they've already spent $4 billion on Marvel, and they spent, what was it, somewhere near that amount for Star Wars. So you know, they have money all over the place apparently, or they did. I don't know if they still do.
Oh,
I'm sure they do. Yeah, I'm kidding.
Have you seen those park prices? Holy shit!
All right. Not to mention all the $100 million type movies that they keep putting out.
It's like, I mean, this is Disney, it's Universal, but we're going down to Florida.
Yeah.
Around Christmas time, you know? Mm. And we were going to spend a couple days at Universal. I'm pretty sure I'd need to, like, take out a loan.
Yeah.
To spend a couple days at Universal between hotel, park entrance, these, you know, stupid little wristbands so you can actually ride some rides. Yeah. I mean, it was, we priced it out. It's like, Jesus, we could probably go on another vacation.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. Like I said, when I was down there, you know, the passes that I had were like $100 or $200 passes for one day. But that was where I could go to, I think we could go to either of the Universal parks. But still, that's crazy. And
it's crazy.
Walking in, I was like, and I don't think this would affect you anyway, because the age of your kids, they're past like the children's discount almost. I don't know if Leah might still qualify, but even then, it's not much. You know, it's not like a lot of places where it'd be like half price for a kid or something. It's only like $20 cheaper or something. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, oh.
Like, well, we save you $5, but you get a lolly.
Sweet.
That's pretty good.
Right.
You guys are super generous.
But the flavor for the lolly is, it's just a plain one.
Yeah, it's like some glob of hard sugar.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. They just have some guy with a bucket of flavored paint, you know? Like,
right.
You know, you want color?
It's a bunch of popsicle sticks, like resting in just a tub of glue.
Right.
They dunk it in a sugar jar and dunk it into like a colored flavored thingy.
Right. Kumate. Oh. Sorry.
Nice.
Oh, sorry, I was going back to that. All right, so what else you got?
For randomness, that's about it.
Oh, all right.
Unless you want to get into our staples of our show.
Not yet. I have like two things to talk about real quick. First of all, have you started season 2 of Stranger Things yet?
No, I have not yet.
Okay. I wrapped it up last night, so.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've heard it's good.
Mm-hmm. It is. It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm not gonna, no spoilers. I'll wait till you're done and then we can do what we usually do. Talk about it after, you know, in the after show.
Yes.
Excuse me. The other thing I was going to mention was I totally forgot that this past weekend was GSP's return to MMA, to UFC.
I did hear that. What was the outcome of the fight?
Yeah, it was him versus Bisping for, I forgot which belt, but whatever title Bisping had.
GSP title?
GSP naked, rear naked choked him out.
Oh, there you go.
And I mean literally choked him out. He didn't tap.
That sounds like a Bisping thing.
Yeah. And, I was a little...
you cunt, I'm not...
right?
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's funny though. Bisping's a funny guy, cause like sometimes from what I was reading, it sounds like he was like, yeah, he kicked my ass. And I think he even was like, he's got a real tight, grip or something like that, you know?
Right.
So, yeah, I was telling Fluffy Bunny Ash last night, I was like, I was just a little surprised that the first fight back was for a title. I figured they might do kind of a warm-up or, like, put him against a guy he should beat kind of a deal,
Right.
just to make sure you got all the rust off of you type of deal before throwing you into the title fight. That way, you don't walk in and look like a, chump or something.
Yeah, exactly.
But then GSP's just like, fuck you, I'm going to go in and win.
Like, oh, I forgot to mention, I'm going to choke your ass out.
Because a dude, and I didn't know this either. I knew he'd not been in the octagon in a while. It was 2013 the last time he fought.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah, 4 years outside of it. I don't know if he's done any fights since then, but he hasn't done any in UFC, so.
Just against the thoughts in his head of alien abductions. I don't know if you've heard those stories.
Right. But then, just to walk in, and, I know Bisping, a lot of people discount Bisping's level and stuff, but he's still no joke. He's won, well, him and GSP are tied now for most fights ever won in UFC.
Oh, nice.
So, it's like I said, he's no joke. He's not some cupcake you're going to just walk in and normally, end. So,
right.
I was a little surprised. Like me and Ashley mentioned it to me too, and she thought the same thing, which was we thought if he won, it might be by going distance.
Right. Yeah.
Type of thing. But nope.
Not just straight choking out somebody.
Round 3, I believe they said, choked him out. Yep.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah. So.
Oh, like I said, good on him.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, I almost wiped out my headphones.
I was a little upset that I forgot that was going on though, because I was always a fan of GSP. So.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
What are you gonna do? I didn't read anything about any of the other fights. That's how interested in them I was. Now there may have been great fights.
Must have been a hell of a card. I thought it was supposed to be a good card.
I don't even remember because it's been so long since I paid attention. Again, Ashley and I were talking about that it's like the cards haven't been what they were.
Right.
Like you look at the cards and you're just like, who? The star power is just not there as much. Anymore. Yeah. Which isn't bad. Sometimes, we've seen how many fights where it's like the ones that are on Fox Sports before the pay-per-view where those are the fights of the night sometimes, so.
Yeah, get some young, hungry kids that want to, make some money.
Exactly. So it doesn't have to be a main event to be huge, but.
Oh man, I gotta sit up straight. I feel like I'm just gonna melt into my chair. Like I was slowly leaning further and further back.
Nice. So, yep.
Is it?
No, it's not. It's not. That's what that's all the stuffs I got. So now we can move into,
Are we gonna move into QW, Brian?
Oh, Dude Mountain.
Oh, shit! You mean, where is it? Oh, that's El Tigre. El Tigre. I missed.
We're not going into that either.
You mean
Dude Mountain?
I do.
Fuck yeah.
Do you have the stuff pulled up or no?
I do, Brian.
Okay, cool. I forgot to do it, so.
Once again, because we're recording on a Sunday, these numbers are going to reflect the current week we're in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, fair warning.
Yeah.
So down wallowing in the broth. Because, that's a shout out to Dev, really.
Yeah.
Coming at number 13 is Holding These Nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Boys. Got to step up your game, son.
Yeah.
Because you're underneath the broth monster, Big Dev.
Broth monster. Please tell me he changed his name to that.
He did change his name to that.
I love it. I haven't looked, so. Well played, Dev.
Tied for 10th, you got Bend a Knee and yourself, Brian, the Salty Kings.
Just can't get out of that spot.
I'll just boost yourself up on the broth monster.
And I didn't do good this week either.
Coming in solidly at number 9 is Jeannie from Hobie, the Honey Pot.
Right.
And then you got a 4-way tie. It's a sexy, sexy 4-way going on here. You got Hobie McHobie Face, Dr. Feelgood, the Vengeful One, and Fuzzy and Fatty all scrapping it out, trying to figure out who's going to advance.
Wow.
I know, right?
Jeez.
And then number 4, John, Bond, Tom, Glistens, Neil from Daft Pod.
Right.
Number 3, you got myself, Existence is Pain, Jerry.
Right.
Coming in at number 2 is Mr. Jackal. Greater than the ones below. I still like that team name.
I do too, even though it's not as accurate now.
Not as accurate now.
It's still accurate. There's still a lot of us below him, but, you know.
Oh, I was hoping I would keep playing. When I switched pages, it didn't.
Nope.
But, well. Because coming in at number 1.
That was...
Sex. The cream of the crop.
Randy of Mount Savage.
Yep.
That's our buddy Garrett, who's all the way on the West Coast.
Yep.
Enjoying them delicious West Coast beers.
Yep.
And apparently
arses.
Doing fine in Pick'em.
Yeah, I was going to say, and kicking our arses. Yeah.
Exactly right.
Left and right.
Left and right.
Yep.
So, there you go. You have your official Dude Mountain update.
Mountain, mountain, mountain.
And the thunder rolls.
Damn it, Tony. All right, so I guess now it's Q of the W time. No?
I believe so. I believe so.
Mm-hmm.
So let's hear. What do we do? Last week we went, hey, who's somebody from history, also known as somebody who's dead, that has a podcast that you would want to listen to?
Right.
So we'll start off. I don't have as many on Face page as I normally do, which I'm super disappointed, guys. That's all right. So I have Jeff from Hobie. He says Rasputin.
Interesting. Yep.
Which I think that's what we talked about last week
we
too.
did.
Which
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That would be a good one. And then you got our pal, the Broth Monster, Big Dev.
Yeah.
He says, I'd say Hitler, but I can't understand German. So I'd have to go with Churchill. But if you were alive now to comment on the current, but if you were alive now to comment on the current state of the world.
Okay.
Right.
Interesting. Now see,
and the other one,
I just assumed, and actually Ashley had the same kind of thought that Dev had, which was, like she mentioned about how we talked about how Jesus would be kind of the, like, auto pick for a lot of people. But, you know, she's like, I don't understand Hebrew, you know, so, and it's like, well, I just assumed that whatever it was, we could understand him, you know. I suspended that barrier for us, but I didn't mention
sometimes
that.
You gotta suspend disbelief.
Yeah, well, I didn't mention it, you know, on the show. We didn't clarify that one, so.
Right. Well, I have the last one I got from Facebook is a pretty lengthy one from our friend Michelle.
Okay.
She starts off with saying, "Guy on a buffalo," because I introduced her to those videos.
Right, right.
But she says, "Nah, kid, but seriously, would have to choose Boston Corbett. The man has some stories. Immigrates to the United States, works as a hat maker, so basically is poisoned with mercury from childhood. After wife and kid died during childbirth, becomes alcoholic and homeless. Decides to castrate himself with a pair of scissors. Joins Union forces, becomes prisoner of war. Is released from being a prisoner with a parting gift of scurvy. Is selected to hunt down John Wilkes Booth. Shoots Abraham Lincoln's assassin in the fucking neck, killing him. Becomes a preacher. Starts to go crazy, mercury poisoning, and believes Booth is alive and out to get him. Becomes a doorkeeper, but is arrested after chasing House of Representatives around a building with a gun. Goes to an asylum. Breaks out of the asylum. Rides to Mexico on a horse and is never found again. Yeah, totally this guy.
Yeah, I could see that. That would probably be an interesting... his view of the world would be really odd because of the mercury poisoning and such.
Yes. Yeah, and the scissor castration.
Right. So that would be...
That'll bum me out every time.
Right, yeah. That would be entertaining for sure. So that's what you got, right?
That's what I got on Facebook, yes.
All right, so over on the tweets... At Poop Culture said George Carlin for sure, which I immediately responded not immediately, but pretty quickly responded with good call. I can't believe I didn't think of that one because I would love, you know, a George Carlin podcast.
I would agree
because again, state of the world plus just it's George Carlin. I would just like to hear him Well, I just like him to be alive still.
Also that.
Yeah, you know. Our friend Diggity at Temporal Shinobi said Michael Clark Duncan and Ving Rhames talk about stuff. Just two really deep voiced actors. It'd be
probably something like that.
Very sensual is what it would be.
Oh yeah, boy, that would be sensual, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Jeez.
I'm kind of glad that isn't going to happen because, you know, we might lose our sexiest podcast on the network thing, you know.
I know, right?
I mean, who can compete with that?
Nobody. That's who.
Yep. He also said, Alan Rickman and Leonard Nimoy review sci-fi fantasy movies.
That would be entertaining too.
Again, the voices would be really interesting. At J&T Podcast says Jim Morrison reads poetry. That could be interesting.
Right.
At Sarah_Rita _, I believe, says Lizzie Borden live from the Pigeon Coop. I like
it's
that
a sweet
one.
show name.
That's a good one, yeah. At Ripper's Spot says Matahari.
Right.
And at, I'm trying to read that. Oh, okay. At Captain J. Spaulding said Peter Cook and Dudley Moore would have a great one. I'm just picturing like Dudley Moore in like, I can't think of that movie. The one where he plays the alcoholic.
Oh, Arthur?
Arthur, thank you, yeah. Where he's just like,
That
would be great.
Oh, Arthur.
Yeah. Okay, I don't see. Where did it go? There it is. Fluffy Bunny Ash says, her Q of the W answer with no real thought put into it, would be the Aleister Crowley podcast. I've always wanted to hear that guy talk.
Fair enough.
Yep. And,
could the opening song be Mr. Crowley by Ozzy? I almost said Anderson's.
Anderson's.
Wow.
Nice. That's it. No Cheeto Bandito this week.
No Cheeto Bandito?
Nope. Sorry. I'm the saddest.
Sad face.
The cream of the crop!
Whoops. I changed. Whoops. Well, for those of you that answered the Q to W.
I like what you got. Good job.
And lasers.
Yeah. Okay, actually. Shit.
Just fuck shit up.
Well, now that you done fired off lasers.
Shots fired.
Shit. I actually found another one here that I didn't see. It's from at YBY Podcast. Says Kurt Cobain, who would invariably be an Oliver Stone / Alex Jones type in his 40s and run a government conspiracy podcast.
That's fair.
Yeah. Boy, that'd be rough. I'd be like, oh, Kurt, what are you doing?
Getting crazy.
Like he needs a hug.
With InfoWars.
Ugh.
Yeah, right.
Ugh. I'm sorry. As we're talking here, I'm scrolling to make sure that I didn't miss any more.
So this week's QW, like I said, was inspired a little bit by the events at Detroit Beer Fest, which, if you listen to The Enthusiast, which should be out soon, you'll know all about it.
Right on.
But the JISC may have had a few too many Founders high-octane beers because we left them alone in that area.
Yeah, that happens.
That happens. And he may have been watching the Ohio State game in a restaurant.
Uh-huh.
And he may have been, every time they scored, flying out of his seat, screaming, dancing, and saying he was going to get naked.
Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So what I want to know from yourself and all of our illustrious listeners, what has ever got you hyped up out of control in public? Like, do you have, what does that for you?
Wow, that's... Mm-hmm.
I know it's a rare event for myself.
That's my thing. That's not really who I am. Yeah.
Well, I'll go with the last time I remember being like out of control in public.
Okay.
Was of all things, it was a cover band too, but it was when I was in Key West last time, and you might find it shocking. I was hammered.
Huh.
Yeah.
But I didn't even know they had alcohol there.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I thought it was a dry county.
Right.
But so I found, I can't remember what bar I was at. Doesn't matter. But there was this band playing all these like 80s rock covers, like Bon Jovi, like hair metal. And I was going fucking nuts, man. Jump around, flinging beer. I'm sure everyone around me hated me.
Yeah, they were probably hoping the lead singer would kick you in the face or something.
Probably. Because there's this, sweaty, big, bald, bearded, because that was when I had my beard, too.
Yeah, right.
And I was just like, woo! Beer flying, and I was jumping around, and
yeah.
It's probably the last time I ever acted like that.
Yeah, that's fair.
But at a good show, if I'm in the right mood, I'll get nutty.
Okay.
So concerts will do that to me.
That honestly, that's probably about as close as I get. Even at like sporting events and stuff, I'm not a big like yeller and screamer at sports, like if I'm watching, and even when I get pissed, I'm usually like, damn it, and that's about it.
Ah, shucks.
Yeah. I'm not one to throw things or scream at the TV or other people. That's just not who I am when it comes to that stuff. So I don't really know. Otherwise, concerts probably as close as I get if it's somebody that I'm really, really into. Like, the first time I saw Metallica kind of a thing, I was super excited for that,
So say you're at a show and you're kind of feeling the show, like the music's been good or whatever, and then you hear this.
I'm losing my shit and getting naked. I mean,
right? There you go. Well, there you go.
Waving my shirt and britches over my head, spinning them around.
Fuck yeah.
Oh shit. See, again, I hate that you're not a regular show fan, because like Muscle Man on there is exactly who I was thinking of. He takes his shirt off all the time and woo kind of a thing when he's, wanting to party. So it popped into my head, but you probably don't get the reference.
I have no idea what you're talking
exactly.
about. Yeah.
Somebody out there will know.
It sounds entertaining.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. He's called Muscle Man, and it's funny because the character is really kind of slovenly. He's like That's fat and, but he's pretty strong.
There you go. But yeah, so, there's y'all's QW. What gets you hyped up in public?
Show me what you got.
Boom.
Yep.
Motherfuckers.
All right. So hopefully we'll get a bunch of answers to that.
Here's hoping, man.
Yep. So, all right. Well, I believe that's a show.
Oh, that's a beautiful thing, because I am becoming a tired boy over here.
I'm hungry. So,
hungry?
Hungry.
I ate about a trough of vegetables before we started recording.
Only a trough, huh?
Well, like, Jeannie's like, hey, there's some pork tenderloin in the fridge and like a salad. It was like a restaurant to-go box just full of salad.
Right.
And I looked at it and I went, are you planning on taking any of this in your lunch tomorrow? She's like, no, I've got, leftover Chipotle, because we had Chipotle for lunch.
Right.
I'm like, okay, because I'm going to eat all this.
Just and styrofoam and all, right? Yeah.
Well, it's like one of those things. It's like, I feel like I haven't had my vegetables.
Oh, right.
In a little while. Like, I feel like I've been stepping. So I saw all those delicious veggies sitting there. I'm like, yes, this is what my body needs right here.
Makes sense to me.
I imagine tomorrow I'm going to shit like a bear, but whatever.
Not your problem.
Not my problem, exactly. That's my plumbing's problem.
Again, make sure tomorrow's not leg day.
Right.
Just saying, you got to plan.
We'll see what idiot is crowding up machinery they're not even using.
Right, yeah. So, all right. Well, as usual, we ask you, check out saltylanguage.com or go there if you need any links for anything, because all our social media links are there. Past episodes are there. The enthusiasts interviews and such that we've done are there. Yeah, pretty much everything. You can see the networks we're part of there, such as the Tangent Network, the Geek Life Radio playlist, and
Danger! Watch your back! Danger!
entertainment.
Yeah.
So go check out those networks and see if you can, there's some other podcasts that you may enjoy.
I'm sure there is.
Yeah.
I'm sure there is. We should always start Salty Language.
Of course. Yeah.
The cream of the crop.
Exactly. While you're on our website, if you'd like to help us out, there's a link there that could take you to. Well, could there's a link there that will take you to. Like it's just a random.
Know.
Yeah, who knows? We just put in the what was that? Google. I'm feeling lucky or whatever thing.
Exactly.
Or random Reddit. That's a terrible idea.
It's like sometimes it's our Patreon. Sometimes it's one guy, one jar.
Terrible. Yeah. So yeah, click on the Patreon link if you'd like to help us out that way. You can subscribe or pledge a certain amount per month, or do like one amount and then once it's taken out, cancel at that point, which makes us sad, but we understand.
Yeah. Sad panda.
And there's some various tiers of rewards or whatever over there that you can
Tears for Fears.
Yeah. Everybody wants to rule the world, Tony.
It's true.
Also, if you'd like to help the show, if you're going to be shopping on Amazon, please swing by our website first, click the Amazon banner, and then just shop away as normal. It doesn't cost you anything extra, and they throw, some rotten fruit at us once in a while or something.
Exactly. Is accurate?
Yeah. Well, it's not rotten. I mean, it's
almost rotten.
Almost rotten, yeah.
It's got a couple soft spots like our heads.
Yeah. Mine has no soft spot.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe my eyes.
You're that goddamn headbutt dinosaur, whatever the hell it's called.
I think it's called goddamn headbutt dinosaur.
If I discovered it, would be. Guys, I found a goddamn headbutt dinosaur.
I already turned in the paperwork. Yeah.
Is this Latin for anything?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, man. Also, if you'd like to help the show out, you can, do so for free by helping, or by, if you're on iTunes, use the, or rate, review, and subscribe if you haven't already. And, remember, ball wash, or I forgot what was it, ball wash 5-star?
I thought it was a 5-star ball.
That's
ball
what it
wash,
was.
yep.
5-star ball wash. That's what it was. Yep. So that helps us out to move up the search rankings and whatnot. If you're using other apps like Stitcher or I don't know what else, whatever you're using, if it has a like or a share option, please use that because it helps us as well. Man, I'm having trouble getting through this, Tony. I don't know what's going on. Probably because I'm too hungry.
Too hungry plus fall back. Fucked you up.
Yeah, actually, it kind of did.
It always
weird.
fucks me up.
Yeah. Extra hour awake for me.
I know, right? What is all this daylight? You must retreat to my dirt.
Right. My dirt. Like I can't even have a coffin or something or a basement.
No.
Dirt.
You just have dirt.
Jeez.
It's in one of those turtle tubs full of lids to keep the bugs out of it.
That's a good call. Let's say I just headbutt the ground a couple times to,
Yeah, for sure. Goddamn headbutt dinosaur.
Make some room. Oh man. That's way too long of a title, but I would love to title the show that. Goddamn headbutt dinosaur.
If we had any sort of, moxie in our fucking bones,
yeah,
we would have a t-shirt that had a breakdown, like a National Geographic breakdown or something of the anatomy of a goddamn headbutt dinosaur.
Right. That's pretty good. I like that. Goddamn. Oh man, I forgot where I was at now. All our social media links are on the website. But if you'd like to contact us, the best way is through Twitter at @salty_language. You can find my stuff's on Twitter at Stunami.
My stuff's on Twitter at Monotony.
And let's see. If you want to find us on the Instagrams, we're at Salty Language.
Salty Language Pod on Instagram.
My fault. Yeah.
Or no, I'm sorry. Salty Language Pod on YouTube.
Yeah.
Which, if you like the show, you can always listen to it there. Just throw it up on one of your tabs on your computer, running in the background, son.
Yep.
Salty_language on Snapchat. It is just Salty Language on Instagram.
Okay. Yeah, I'm Ninjitsu on Snapchat. Jeez, I couldn't remember what I was going to say. So yeah, I think that's all those links. One last thing is, while you're looking for podcasts and downloading, please, maybe give the other podcast I'm on, The Crazy Life, a listen. We generally talk about like mental health issues or kind of stuff that's going on, from two of us with mental health, or mental illness. And then, one of us is, a recovering alcoholic. So, if you're into that kind of stuff, maybe give us a listen.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
A little bit for everybody.
Sure. And, I think, am I forgetting anything? I feel like that's it. If not, again, all of it's on saltylanguage.com.
I think that's probably it.
All right. Well, let's, have a beer. You'll be fine.
I was trying to think of something themed from the show, but I'm drawing a complete blank.
Yeah.
Which is weird because this is the first show we've done in a couple weeks that hasn't been like half recorded and 2 days later recorded.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So I guess I'll just say salty.
All
Go with the classic.
And, if you need condoms, no.
It's true.
Yeah.
Come on over.
Yeah.
I got them.
If you need condoms, go to Tony's.
Oh, I figured out what's because I had to look at their website. The deal of this condom manufacturer is basically like, how most condoms are like have condom size, then they have like giant dong size,
right?
And there's like no in between.
Yeah,
they make a bunch of different sizes, so you can order more to your dick size.
That's really unnecessary, but I could see where they could sell them.
Yeah.
So, kudos to them. I hope they make tons of cash off them.
There you go.
So, all right. Well, I guess with that,
I guess stay snug,
but not too snug because you don't want to create friction that tears.
Exactly.
And that could mean the condom or just in general, because I think that's just a good life tip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a terrible affliction, even worse name, dick tears.
Yeah. Yeah. So, on that note, we'll talk to you next week.